Alright, so my white car is out of here because it's basically done. It's just in the trailer. But I started working on my red Camaro that I ran last year. So I ran this car all season last year. Yeah. And then my brother's going to be using this, so I'm getting this ready for him. So what I did is I peeled off all the bad stickers and we're keeping all the good ones on. So that's why I got all this masked off, so I don't get paint. Because this is where the paint peeled off, and I had to sand it out and make it all smooth again. I had to do that with the numbers. The roof, those came off easy. There's a few spots, but if you get all that glue off, I've been just using glue off for that stuff. So I got the numbers off. I got to take this lead out. This wasn't mine. I borrowed this. We actually got some lead. So I'm going to take that out, get that back, and put my lead in. But last year I never had a bumper cover. So this is actually the original bumper. This was all like wide open. And this has to be covered. And what I did is I used this stuff to cover it up. But this year I actually got a bumper cover for it. You won't find a bumper cover for these Camaros. This I actually had a special make. I think this goes to a Monte Carlo. It was given to me, so I don't know. But what I did is got it flush with this side. And this used to stick out to about like right here. So I got it flush with this panel, cut it, and then I just rooted it on there. And I'm just going to bolt it. That will hold most of it. And that should be good. Just got to bolt it. So all the white stuff, like this, is all new. So I kind of messed up from doing this, and I regret using Bondo. It just breaks and everything. But this was like all chunked out with Bondo and everything, and I didn't feel like I would have to re-Bondo it if I wanted to make it look right again. So what I ended up doing is taking this piece of sheet metal and just riveting that down to where it started cracking, or where it started chipping. And then this gap needed filled, so I just ran a piece of strip of this sheet metal down, and it's also filling up this. You can kind of see where that one is too, and did all that. I still gotta grind this down, make it all smooth, but that's all done. I'm basically done with the patchwork. I also did that over here. I got both fenders finally all beaded out. Yeah. So I got the motor and tranny out. We had problems all year with this transmission leaking, so I think there's a crack in the tranny somewhere because I replaced the dipstick seal, the transmission seal, the front and rear main seal, and somehow the thing still leaks fluid. So I think there's and I also changed the pan gasket. So I think there's a crack in the transmission somewhere. But yeah, I pulled this out last night. Here's that other fender I got straightened out. This used to be all caved in. It all beat it out pretty good. But yeah, the motor and transmission's out. I never had the transmission out of this car. I only had the motor out from when I replaced it because the old one blew up. But yeah. So while I got the motor out, there used to be a bunch of wires and crap here. Some of the wires weren't even needed. So I peeled off the ones that weren't needed in the fuel line. I'm going to take everything off that's connected to the roll cage. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up all this gunk and everything, paint it, get a nice fresh coat of red. And that should be good. And then I'm not sure what those are. I actually had to cut one to make the exhaust fit. But while the engine and transmission's out, I'm going to cut those out. I wanted to do it last time, but I didn't have enough time to do it. But yeah, I'm going to clean this up and get it painted red. It's supposed to start staying in the 30s and 40s next week. It's actually warmed up pretty much today. Snow's starting to melt. So next week is supposed to be pretty much in the 40s, 45s. So I'm going to try and paint the outside of the car where I got to touch up. I'll probably paint the inside of here today, just because I don't really care if this doesn't dry well, because it's still gonna be all tacky. But anyways, yeah, so pretty much a race car update. So as soon as I get that all touched up, and we're putting a 355 in there, so that motor is not going back in it. That'll just be a backup motor. So I just gotta get the motor, transmission put back in it, get all the paint work done, and then I'm gonna put a different column for the switches and button, make it a little bit bigger because you won't understand that. I do gotta go through some of the wiring because When I have the alternator switch on, because I have it separate because it draws power for some reason. When I have the alternator switch on, one light goes on. If I shut the alternator off, both lights come on. Yeah, it's all confusing. So I gotta fix all that. And then yeah, this car is pretty much done. Oh, there's one more thing I did. So last season, all this white was just one big gap. Like dirt would always get caved in. I know it's a dirt car, but it would get packed with dirt because it was flying in because it wasn't covered up. So this season, off season, I finally patched all that. There's still a little bit of a hole down there, but I got that all patched. Paint that too, and get the car cleaned up, and it's ready. And I got one more to do, and I'll pull my car back out of the trailer and start getting it ready because I got to do some stuff to it. But yeah, it's getting almost done. Racing season is in 61 days, which is 8 weeks from now. So I got 8 more weeks to get this car finished up, get mine halfway. Well, mine's about done, but finish that one up, and then I got one more car, which is going to be a project, and that's probably going to take me to the last minute of racing season. So yeah. And I gotta replace the diaphragm on this car because it's leaking, because we're going to reuse that car. And I'm going to actually pull this out, get this up on an engine stand, and put it in the back room. Get it out of the way. Yeah. Alright, so this is part 1. I'll update you guys when I get part 2 out.